Hi there, I'm Andy and welcome to my channel about crypto. First of all, welcome to this video, the first one in 2023 and also the first one after the Christmas break. And main topic of this video will be just looking at what happened in the crypto space in 2022, just a very quick recap of the last year and what I'm looking forward to in 2023, what I think may happen in this space, and why I am actually really bullish on crypto in 2023. And to be honest, everything crypto related or blockchain related, so NFTs, metaverse, and so on. Even though we had a really bad year last year, I think that this year will be actually really good, and I'm really looking forward to it. As always, if you like those videos, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. You can also check out my course, Crypto Like a Pro. You can find more info in the description. So first of all, let's have a quick look at Bitcoin. And well, last year we started somewhere in this range here, around 47K. So, well, very high 40s. This year we're starting, well, around 16.5 grand or so. So basically a third of where we were this time last year. Not great exactly, but it is what it is, nothing new. What's interesting though is that if we look at monthly Bitcoin candles, in the last year, out of 12 months, we had 8 red candles, which isn't exactly great. And even more interestingly, if we look at quarterly candles, we had 4 red candles in a row. So basically every single quarter last year, Bitcoin price was going down. And this is also the first time it ever happened that Bitcoin had 4 red quarters in a row. We had 3 quarters in the past, for example, here in 2018, 2019, or 2019, in fact. Actually, 2019, early 2020. But we never had 4 in a row. So, yeah, overall, pretty nasty year for crypto. I'm sure you are very much aware of it. If we look at NFTs, well, the situation is not great either. OpenSea monthly volume in Ethereum for the last half a year or so has been pretty low. It's pretty much back to the levels prior to summer of 2021. If we look at the volume in ETH rather than dollars, the difference is not quite as bad, and actually we are significantly above the levels prior to the summer of 2021. And this makes a lot of sense because, of course, the volume in dollars takes also into account the fact that the price of ETH dropped massively. Here we were paying, I don't know, something between 3 and 5 grand for one ETH, while in this range here, well, the prices dropped to like 1,500 or so, or even less. When we look at ETH volume, well, of course, we are still significantly above those early days of NFTs, but nonetheless, it's a massive drop in comparison to where we were in early last year or late 2021. So yeah, NFTs are down massively. Basically, everything is going down or was going down throughout 2022. So why am I still bullish on 2023? Well, why am I bullish on crypto and everything Web3 related in 2023 and beyond? Well, first of all, I think it will be a challenging year. I think we are not out of the woods yet in terms of the situation, well, the macroeconomic situation worldwide. And I think we, or most countries, are heading for a recession if they're not already in a recession. I wouldn't be surprised if we will have some big capitulation event in 2023. But nonetheless, I think this is also the year when things will slowly start bouncing back up. It may take quite a while. I wouldn't be surprised if it won't be until late 2023 before things will start picking up. But eventually, I think they will. Well, obviously, eventually there will, but I think we are not that far away from that point. And certainly, I think 2024, 2025 will be very bullish years for crypto. This year, I think, will be still quite choppy. Like I said, I think there is a good chance that we will have a dump, maybe not straight away. We may have a bit of a bull run, maybe at the beginning of the year. NFTs had a bit of a bull run in December. So I'm expecting quite a fair bit of chop, but eventually I expect things to start slowly picking up. And also there's a lot of important stuff happening this year. If we look at projects such as the Otherside, or in general what Yuga Labs is doing, if we scroll back. So I'm sure you're familiar with Otherside, the Yuga Labs metaverse. We had the first trip in the summer, in July of 2022. And since then, we've been waiting for the second trip. I think it's been delayed a couple of times. We were certainly expecting something towards the end of last year. But now it's supposed to be in March 2023. I think it was mentioned somewhere here. There you go, coming in late March 2023. And more importantly, after that, next trips will be happening much more frequently. In one of the interviews, guys from Yuga were saying that they're expecting it to happen a couple times a month. And I believe they are aiming for a stable environment to be ready by, I think, Q3 or Q4 of this year. So basically, before the end of this year, in theory, we should have Otherside fully functional. It's a huge, huge project. I mean, this will be essentially either one of the biggest wins of Web3 and the whole early metaverses, or if it doesn't go well, it will be one of the biggest flops ever. Of course, anything can happen, but I think it's extremely unlikely that it will be a flop. If any project can succeed, I think it's this one. So I am extremely bullish on the Otherside, and anything within the Yuga Labs universe. So any brand that belongs to them, including now 10KTF as well. I think there will be a lot of cool stuff coming from them. And more importantly, you can see how much work they're putting into it now in the deep bear market. And this is essentially what I'm looking for. Projects which are working hard, which remain very, very active, even though everything's been going to shit over the last few months. So there are quite a few projects like this. And I think this is key. And you can also see it. It's a bit like with people who are in Web3 now, right? There are very few people now watching those videos. There are very few people on crypto Twitter comparing to what it was in the peak bull run. Same on Discord and everywhere else. But people who remain active now, who engage in this space, who learn about the projects which are coming out, who look at what is likely to pump or go up and perform well in the next bull run. These are the people who will do extremely well in the next bull run, because this is exactly the time when you should be looking at all this stuff. Not when everything is pumping and literally everyone is talking about crypto. That's when you should sell. Now you should be researching or learning how to research Web3 projects and stay active in the space and essentially position yourself for the next bull run. And the same thing applies to companies, right? If there is a company that's active now, there is a project that's active now, well, they will likely do very well in the next bull run. Everyone who disappears right now, I don't really expect much from them when the bull run comes. There will be, of course, exceptions here and there, but generally speaking, I don't really buy into the whole thing of being quiet because you are building in the background. I mean, sure, that's one approach, but a lot in this space is about hype. And if you cannot sustain that hype, well, I think you're doing something wrong. So I think 2023 will be the year of AR, VR, metaverse, early days of metaverse, but nonetheless, metaverse, AI, and so on. So there will be a lot happening, which I think will be fueling the next crypto bull run. And we may not see it straight away. There may not be quite as much hype around it as we would like to see. It may not necessarily hit the mainstream media and so on. So I expect the whole space to be relatively quiet, but quiet while there is still a lot happening in the background, if that makes sense. So essentially, I think this is the year of setting up for 2024, 2025. If I look at all my favorite projects from last couple of years, well, they're all, of course, massively down. I'm absolutely not saying that now is the good time to invest in any of those. If anything, now is the time to buy Bitcoin or ETH or one of the well-established projects. But at the same time, soon the time will come when there will be a good moment to enter those positions. And if we just look at a few examples here from big projects like ApeCoin, I mean, ApeCoin is still holding up relatively well. The peak was $24 or around $24. It's now $3.66. It's actually performing all right. If we look at something like Chainlink, that's down not even 90%. Again, given the circumstances, it's still holding up relatively well. Vulcan Forge, similar thing, but even something like Vulcan Forge can quite easily go up to, well, if it hits its previous all-time high or goes slightly above, that's already 20x. That's not a bad gain, right? But then if we look at smaller projects, but projects which are still really, really good, something like CDFI, which personally I expect it will go back to its previous all-time high, if not above. It's a really, really solid project. I mean, that was above $16 or $17 at a peak. So basically that's, again, 20x, similar to Vulcan Forge from the current price, right? And then we can look at a couple of much smaller projects, something like Altura. Well, this is now 0.7 of a cent, and it was way above 40 cents at some point. So this could go up 40, 50x or so, just to hit the previous all-time high. Then we have something like Veracity, also massively down, I think about 40x from the all-time high. Or sorry, it could go up 40x to hit its previous all-time high. So as you can see, there are plenty of projects, still good projects, which are already down massively. If there is another big dump, or if if Bitcoin continues going sideways, this will dump even further. So yeah, I think you should definitely keep an eye on those. Like I said, not buy them right now, but you can see already how much potential there is in a few of the projects we've been talking about for months, and we know that they performed really well in the previous bull run. And another thing I wanted to mention is, of course, AI. I'll probably make a separate video about it, but I think it's a good time to start looking at the list of crypto projects which focus on AI. Because, of course, since ChatGPT came out, well, AI has been a huge, huge topic. I think it will be massive, not only in 2023, but in the coming years. And I think there will be a massive AI crypto bull run. A lot of the projects probably won't even matter whether they're good projects or not, just because they are crypto and AI in one thing. Once the bull run comes, they'll probably go up like crazy. I'm not saying that this is the best strategy to follow, but I would definitely start looking into what's happening on that crossover between crypto, between blockchain and AI, and any valuable projects in this space are likely to perform extremely well in the next bull run, and probably even average project will still do quite well. So that's definitely something worth keeping an eye on. And then finally, just wanted to mention that there are still projects that do really, really well, whether that's crypto or NFTs, something like Steady Stack Titans, which I mentioned multiple times. I mean, they're still holding strong above 2.5 ETH, and I think they will do very, very well in the coming months. It's a really heavily utility-driven project, and I think that's the big thing. In bear market, there is no way to make money purely on hype because there is just not enough volume to do it. But if there is utility behind it, if there is value in the project, I mean, as you can see, even in deep bear market, the project can do really well. They minted, I think, in August last year or something like that. So we were already in a really crappy place, and still they're doing really, really well. That's pretty much it from me for today. Overall, 2022 is behind us. Not a great year for crypto, but it's done. We can now forget about it. Or more importantly, we can learn our lessons from that year and now look forward to 2023 and see how we can get the most out of this year. And I think the key thing here is to remain active in this space, look for good projects with potential, and essentially position yourself for the next bull run. And I'm pretty sure there will come time to start investing this year, but I wouldn't say this time is quite now yet. I think we are still a few months away from it. So for now, do your research, find solid projects, stack cash, and prepare for the next crypto bull run. And most importantly, stick out in this space because it will be well worth it in the future. Thank you for watching, and see you next time. Bye.